Good morning, friends. Welcome to 2021 SLC examination question papers and answers for 10th class revision. It also covers ICSE and CBSE 10th standard students, my dear friends from Vvsm Academy. Welcome. Science notes. Science is a wonderful subject, particularly physical science. Learn science and do science. Okay, friends, so let us have a discussion. I will tell you the story of electron, the story behind the electron. Well, my dear friends, I would like to divert your attention towards the cathode ray tube. Have you heard of cathode ray tube? No. Anybody knows? Okay, well and good. It helps you to know, to understand the story of electron behind. The story is wonderful. That is history of science. Okay. The history of cathode ray tube can be followed back to at least 1854. It's 18th century, when the skilled German glassblower and mechanic Heinrich Giesler in 1840. So, glass technology, in those days, how the glass evolved, how the history, discovery of the glass, and the different models and different tubes and different bottles, etc. So, here the discovery of cathode ray tells about the history of electron. So here one more person, famous German mathematician, he Plucker by name, Julius Plucker, a German mathematician in 1840, and he began to research in crystals of magnetic field, establishing results about the concentrate of light for this spectral research in the field of spectrography or spectroscopy. Okay, it seems the first computer which used to CRT monitor. See, this is all about the electron story. The electron story covers all these things, that is a first computer. Nowadays the world is computer. Today we are living in the computer world. The computer world started and it has got its own history. It is wonderful. So CRT, that is cathode ray tube monitor, was the United States military Sage from 1950. Sage had more than 150 display cells. These are very important, my dear friends. Okay, now this is the story behind the electron. Discovery of subatomic particles, discovery of electrons. Who discovered the electron? The great scientist by name Sir J.J. Thomson discovered electron. For this he awarded Nobel Prize in 1906, and his son also got Nobel Prize for the wave-like properties of electron. You see the correlation between the father and the son. Father tells about the electron, the fundamental particle of an atom, that is corpuscular theory. My dear friends, corpuscular theory tells that light behaves in two ways, that is called dual nature of light. The dual nature of light, my dear friends, light behaves like particles which are corpuscles, and it also behaves like a wave. A close relation between father and the son, that is Sir J.J. Thomson tells about indirectly about the corpuscular theory. Corpuscular theory is nothing but corpuscles. Light is made up of corpuscles, and hence The light is a corpuscular theory. And the dual nature of light, another one is, what is that? Wave theory of light. That means light also travels in the form of waves. And here, so that is the separate science of physics, okay? We will study. This is also physics, the science, a wonderful science. And Thomson's son, that is G.P. Thomson, also won the Nobel Prize in 1937 for proving the wavelength properties of electrons. That I am telling you about the correlation of the corpuscular theory and the wave theory of light, which is a part of science of the electrons. Now, what is cathode ray? Sir J.J. Thomson constructed a glass tube which was partially evacuated. That is, much of the air was pumped out of the tube. Then they applied high electrical voltage between two electrodes at either end of the tube. He detected that a stream of particle ray was coming out from the negatively charged particles, which are called, that is, cathode to anode, that is positively charged electrode, anode. This ray is called cathode ray, and the whole construction is called cathode ray tube. The schematic of a cathode ray tube is given in the figure. This is the cathode ray tube. This is cathode and this is anode, and cathode ray, that is cathode rays travels from cathode to anode. Well, let us study about the description of the cathode ray tube. It consists of a tube, gas tube, and air at very low pressure. Remove the air, evacuate it, and apply the potential difference, high voltage, that is high voltage generator, and at a very low pressure the rays start emitting from cathode to anode in the form of straight lines. This is the production of cathode rays. So this is the detailed diagram of the discharge tube. Properties of cathode rays. My dear friends, the properties of cathode rays, a series of experiments conducted by Sir J.J. Thomson, and he concluded that cathode rays travels in a straight line in vacuum. It has energy and momentum. It produces the fluorescent effect and fluorescent material. Fluorescent is nothing but the scattering of light. And the cathode base consists of negatively charged particles, and they deflect toward the positive terminal in the electric field. Where the cathode rays are subjected to the electric field and magnetic field, it affects, it deflects toward the positive terminals because it is made up of electrons. And deflects direction is determined by the Fleming's left-hand rule, that is magnetic effect. It can ionize air or gaseous, that's why it is passing through the vacuum. It can ionize air or gases, that. It can penetrate through graphite layer for a thin paper. And another extraordinary property or the characteristic of cathode ray particle is when it hits the heavy metal, it produces X-ray. It is responsible for the X-ray. When it hits the heavy metals, the reflected rays are in the form of X-rays. That means this is the production of X-rays, my dear friends. Well, this is story of electron, and we will come to a conclusion that the discovery of electron by Sir J.J. Thomson and many more background of the history of science relating to the discovery of electron, which is a fundamental subatomic particle. So, my dear friends, in the forthcoming class we will continue the fundamental particles, subatomic particles like electrons, and the discovery of proton, the discovery of neutron, etc. in the forthcoming classes. Okay, if you like my video, please contact Mr. Veerabhadraya Demaya 9663828848. If you like our Vvsm Academy videos, please subscribe by pressing bell icon. Thank you.